So with Grubhub, hearing that it would be discontinued, I didn't know what my next step would be. I didn't know how to go about surviving doing what I was doing. And Uber Eats had already gotten flooded. And I was like, man, I can't go back to Uber Eats. I have Grubhub for work and now it's being discontinued. What will my next step be? Will I go back to my old my W-2? No. I refuse to go back there because I know how tough that job was. So I said, let me look over my independent contractor agreement. And the conversations at the time was, you can't reject, you can't do this, you can't do that, or you'll be fired, or you'll be this, or you'll be that. But I'm like, they clearly state in the contract, the agreement states that I have the right, basically, I have the right to work other platforms. I have that right. So I'm like, my argument in video at that time was, why would the agreement say this and y'all are saying something completely different? Like I'm going to get fired if I do this. If they find out that I'm working another platform, like, what are y'all talking about? So I started to multi-app between DoorDash, not DoorDash, not even DoorDash yet, Grubhub and Uber Eats. I started to multi-app between the two. And I got really good at it to the point where I learned my areas of where to work and where not to work, where that gave me the better tips and not the not so good tips. Because keep in mind, Uber was only showing me the time. I wasn't seeing an upfront pay. So now fast forward. I drove a lot of miles on Grubhub. They had me working from the top of the zone or the region, that's what they called it, all the way to the bottom of the region for like little pay. And I was only banking on working for the $10 guarantee because they were going to make sure that it's either they came out of pocket for $10 an hour or I earned $10 an hour. 2019 now, I'm a multi-apper. Full-blown multi-apper between Grubhub and Uber Eats. Now the new conversation is DoorDash. DoorDash. Sign up for DoorDash, UDM. Sign up for DoorDash. I'm like, okay, let's look at the DoorDash now. At this point, I'm not afraid to sign up for another app. And I'm looking into other apps because it's necessary, at least because I want to make more money. It wasn't a necessity because the market was difficult to make money. No, it was just me wanting to expand or have more options out there. So now I signed up for DoorDash and they told me I had to go to some office in Miami, go through the orientation. And for some reason, that office was always closed for DoorDash. I went there how many times and the office was always closed. I said, well, damn, I guess, guys, I won't be able to do DoorDash. I ended up giving them a call and they pushed whatever they had to push through to get my account going. So then I learned about how to use DoorDash and started to make money with DoorDash. Now, I'm going to skip over some years here because now I'm a multi-apper. Now I understand the rules of the road, how to go out there and get my money. I realize many other drivers are out there trying to do the same thing that I am doing. Probably didn't have to go through the same things that I went through, but a lot more of them are out on the road and they're trying to figure things out. Some are saying like, how do you multi-app? Because it's so stressful. And I said, it's not. And I kept pushing back over and over like, it's not difficult. What are you talking about? And eventually it led to me creating the multi-apping video, how to multi-app the right way. And to this date, people are still leaving comments on that video. And I'm like, that video is so old to me. And I said, I will never change the thumbnail. I will never change anything about it. But that video is so old to me. And it's helped thousands of drivers to learn how to do what I am now graduating from. They're just getting started with. So to fast forward some more, okay? Because this, like I said, it's going to be a long story. So I don't want you to miss any piece of it. So just pause it if it's just too long-winded for you. Okay? So now I put out this video, how to multi-app the right way. And I can multi-app. I now have so many apps that I've signed up for. I have like 30 plus apps to the point where I felt obligated to introduce people to apps all the time, helping them see the benefit of having options, more than one option. Sometimes in one day, I would get a job on one app, 2 apps, 3 apps, 4 apps, sometimes even 6 apps. I have 6 different jobs that I'm to make my money for the day. And I was good, you know, but then I got introduced to Deliver That. At that time, Deliver That was doing a ride along. They wanted to schedule a time with you to then meet up with their driver and then for you to shadow their driver. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This feels like some kind of employee type shit. Like, I ain't with that shit, man. Like, y'all could go somewhere with that, right? They kept trying to get me to schedule my ride along. And I had a friend of mine that he ended up scheduling his ride along. I forgot what his experience was like, but I was just like, nah, bruh, I'm good. Years go by and I'm still doing my multi-apping thing. I get a call from a subscriber telling me that they brought my name up to Deliver That. Now, this was a few years later, and Deliver That, the name wasn't really ringing a bell. Like, what is this platform that you're talking about? Because I never went out and did the ride along, so I couldn't remember anything much about it. So this subscriber told me, oh, I brought your name up and yada, yada, yada. They're going to be in Fort Lauderdale. I said, okay, well, I'll swing by. I'll see what's up. So I go to Fort Lauderdale. I meet one of their representatives, which is Christian. And we chop it up for a bit. He tells me about the platform. And I was like, wait, what? Then I was like, wait, I could have sworn I signed up for this platform. And he was like, let's check the account. Let's check the system. Oh, we don't have you anywhere in here. Which is funny because they couldn't find my name, but in 2025, actually 2023 or 2022, 2024, when they would send my pay disbursement, it would have my old address. I'm like, well, you guys still have my information from way back when, you know, but anyway, I'll tell you, being introduced to Deliver That, I saw opportunity. I didn't know much about it yet, but I do know that I was already doing Delivered. And Delivered, that catering life was, I was just like, oh man, the pay was great. I was working a lot less, and I was selling stuff to my wife. Like, I was telling her, like, babe, oh my gosh, you won't have to work anymore. Like, you don't have to work the summers anymore because I got this right here, you know? And then something happened in 2021 where I got sick with COVID. and I got hospitalized. And being hospitalized and not having hospitalization money, meaning like something stored away at the time, that really like messed me up in the head, because I was like, while laying in my hospital bed, I had these doctors come in and ask me. Till this day, that shit haunts me, man. But when they came into my room and asked me, if something were to go wrong, who would you want to have the final decision on pulling the plug, in other words? I said, what? So the only thoughts at the time in my mind was, oh man, I'm about to die. I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like the fact that all the struggles that I went through to get to the point that I'm at that time, I wouldn't be able to raise the sons. At this time, I have 2 sons, but I wouldn't be able to raise the sons that I want to be there to watch them grow and to be the men that I know that they will be one day. I won't be there for my wife when I know she needs me. All of this just came down on me in the hospital. And I said, man, this shit can't beat me. I got to get up. So as weak as I was, as dizzy as I was, I'm walking back and forth in the hospital room, in my room, and then I opened the blinds when the sunlight was out. I'm standing in the sun. I'm watching the news. It's saying like, you know, you got to be out in the sun. You got to this, you got to that. And at the time, they wasn't allowing anyone to come and see me. So I was dealing with all that by myself. My wife couldn't come see me in the hospital. My kids couldn't come see me in the hospital. I was by myself. And every morning they would wake me up out of my sleep like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and then stick me with a needle in my stomach. It was painful. And I'll never forget it. But when I got out of that hospital, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to change this up a bit. Go back to what I know, which is multi-apping. But in this case, in this time, I'm going to do it with catering. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to grab as many catering apps as I can. I'm going to do as much as I can to get to that. Listen, my goals was like, yo, I got to go. I got to get this dough. I got to go because I almost died. That's what my thinking was like. I'm like, hell no, they not about to get me. I got to get this dough. I got to set my family up for everything to come. If I end up in the hospital, if I end up dead, whatever, I got to set my family up. That's all that was on my mind from August of 2021 moving forward. I even said at the time, I wasn't even married to my wife yet. I was just calling her my wife. And then I actually, you know, to this day, I smile about it, but I gave her an ultimatum. I said, listen, I'm out the hospital. You're going to have to we're going to have to get married. I laugh about it now, but I was dead ass serious. Like, yo, hell no, you're going to have to be my wife. I'm going to have to put you as the beneficiary on everything that I got going on right now, you know? So I'm like, yo. Anyway, we ended up getting married. And then fast forward to 2024. I am now an elite driver on Deliver That. And I now have more than one catering app. And I am making more money than I have ever made in my entire life per day. And as in Q4, when I had people asking me, like, how much did you make on that? And they were actually at their W-2. And they were asking me, like, how much did you make on that? And I would tell them what the number was. And they're telling me, oh my gosh, I'm doing the wrong thing. That let me know that I was already on a path of success.
Oh yeah. What time it is, D-Fam? Yeah. It's time to what? Go get your money.